on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Oh, goodness, here we are for the Midweek podcast, which is, well, you know what it is. You've tuned into it. You must have noticed. Not the sort of thing you get into accidentally. And I'm Frank Skinner. This is Absolute Radio podcast world. Mm-hmm. And I'm with Emily and Gareth.
Hello.
Hi.
It's nice. Weather's picked up a bit, hasn't it, since the weekend?
We're not talking about the weather, are we?
No, I wouldn't mind doing 10 minutes on the weather. If it's good enough for Lucy Verasamy, it's good enough for me. Anyway, I saw that I went by Buckingham Palace last week, and they got all... Because Jacob Zuma is over.
Oh, OK.
You know Jacob Zuma. He ought to be a sprinter. That'd be such a brilliant name for him. But he's the president of...
South Africa,
yes.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Is he the president or is he the prime minister? He's one of the senior
They have
people.
presidents in countries other than ours.
And they had all the flags out. They had like Union Jack, South African flag, Union Jack, all the way down the Mall.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, it sent us shudders. I mean, I remember when we wouldn't eat the fruit, and now the flags are up. And it really, I was a student in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
In the 80s and 90s. And it was very, very weird for me. But and what everyone was talking about is he only brought one wife with him. He's got 5.
Really?
5 wives?
5 wives.
Oh, is he like one of my
Really, it was
grandfathers or something? Extraordinary.
Yeah. How many wives did your grandfather have?
Well, he only had 2, but that's enough. How many do you want in the family?
Well, I had... I can't remember now. Someone who lived in our road had 9 wives, I remember. I know, hold on, that was lives.
Oh,
That was a cat. Forget that. Scrub that. I got on the wrong thing.
So he only brought one of them?
I
Well,
think
'cause he
he's
didn't
got
want to
3
cause
wives.
a
It
stir.
says on my news report here that he's got 3
3? Oh, I
wives.
thought he got... Well, 3's not too bad, is he?
No.
What do you mean it's not too bad? Surely more than one is quite bad.
Well, I don't know. They all know. It's not like he's doing it on the sly. And I've often thought that maybe it's better than monogamy. Because I think it's nice for the girls to have someone to chat to in the evenings when the sport's on. Yeah? And also safety in numbers, I'd say.
Well,
You wouldn't want to be on a one-to-one with Jacob. You want somebody to pin his arms back while you're smacking him in the mouth if it goes off.
Well, I'd quite like having 3 boys. It'd be like Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. I'd love it.
Yeah, I think there's a plus for
Or
it.
snuggle up and watch Deal or No Deal together. It'd be quite nice.
Excuse me, Miss Emily. What will you be requiring of us this evening?
No, I don't think it needs to be. And people always think it's about the sexuals, and I think it's about the company. It's about the dynamic.
I'd want my conjugals, though. Come on. Let's get that straight.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is Absolute Radio's Midweek podcast. I mean, let's go steady. What I'm saying is, if you go out for a night, if you just go out and there's 2 of you, it's never as much fun as if you go out and there's 4 or 5 of you, is it? You'd have your own gang.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think it's something...
I prefer one-to-one. I'm
Well, you're the only married one amongst us.
Yeah,
so
that's
would
true.
you
And
not
I
like
think-
just to
no.
add another couple?
I think they would be ganging up.
Well, they do
I
a
mean,
bit of...
I haven't got a leg to stand on with Laura, but with more, I think they would just...
You're assuming, though, that in a slightly sexist way, they'd all be on her side, but you might be able to get a couple, on
They
your...
wouldn't be on my side.
No, I don't think
wrong.
they would either. No, in fact, if I joined in, I think I wouldn't be on your side either, even though I'd be one of the male things. That, of course, wouldn't be polygamy, it would be polyandry.
Oh.
Very
What's
impressive.
polyamory, then?
Polyamory, I think, was one of the Wombles.
That is a kids' TV programme, isn't it?
That's
In Scotland.
what is that? Tobermory, is it?
Balamory.
Balamory. Let's call the whole thing.
So you're imagining some situation where we're the husbands and then there's 3 wives.
No, there needn't be 3 wives. Me and you, I could
Just
join
the
you
2
and
of us.
Laura in your marriage.
Oh,
Right.
God.
Right.
What sort of a setup
Don't
is
write
this?
it off. Before you reject it, just think about it. Don't write it off immediately.
I can see what's happening here. I'm the butler.
No.
That's all happened because we've got a thing written into our wedding contract where if Prince
Contract?
If Prince William shows any interest, Laura will marry him and I
Okay.
will be the stable boy.
Okay.
And we'll
Well, yeah, I'm not
I'll
promising anything.
take care
I'm
of the
just
horses.
thinking, if me and you could sit and chat about, comedy and music while Laura was, running the house. What do you think?
Taking care of Ethan.
I like your
Yeah.
very modern view of the roles of men and women.
No, but this is quite modern because I think we're still very narrow-minded about the multi-partner thing.
Yeah, but why should she take care of the house? I think you two should be in a pinny doing the housework.
in a
I-
joint in
no.
one penny? I think I'd be happy with that.
If you're going to join our household, I do the cooking.
Okay,
That's how that works. So I do all the cooking.
right.
Laura does other. She not a great ironer. I do ironing when I need it, but she does do. most
She's
of the
not a
ironing.
great ironer. Oh, sorry.
I've never met a great ironer. I'd like to see one. She's
Not a great ironer. What can you do, mate?
Hey, I tell you what,
Any-
Jeremy irons.
Oh, well, that's it. When he
Oh.
comes round. I honestly, I don't think we should write, because we all think it's all about, three birds, but I just think, I think it could be like a big happy family. I used to watch, Girls of the Playboy Mansion, and they looked like they had, if he was a bit tired, Hugh Hefner, they could still go and have fun on their own.
Yeah, but Frank, you didn't see those long dark nights when the curtains were closed and those girls had to earn their money. That's all I'm saying.
No, I did see that. That was on the live feed. I would like to have watched the live
That's what they
feed.
call it, the live feed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit like the seals at London Zoo. Oh dear. So, I tell you what. I was speaking of the zoo. It said in the paper, not the Zoomer, the zoo. It said in the paper that apparently there's a bee shortage. I'm not swearing there. There's a shortage of honeybees, and they're encouraging people to become urban beekeepers. So people that live in towns and cities like what we do. Well, I do. You live in Bournemouth. I don't know what that is. Is that a town? It's just a beach, isn't it? It's just a beach with some young kids on it. Anyway,
Urban beekeepers. Well, get me, man. I got some bees, yeah. They're buzzing around. It's wicked. I got bare bees.
Man of a thousand voices.
I got
Who's
bare
this
bees.
creature?
I only discovered very recently. When young people say bear.
Oh, yeah,
that
like Bear
is
Good.
Bear good.
Yeah.
That is BARE, not BEAR.
Yeah, of course it is.
I honestly thought it was BEAR. Because a bear's big.
I just thought it was a speech impediment. They couldn't say very. Good. That's what I thought it was.
What is it where they had Brer Fox? That was like.
That would be the Uncle Remus stories. That would
Yeah.
be. Brer Rabbit and.
Absolute Radio talking about Brer Rabbits this lunchtime.
The Brer Witch Project.
Anyway, you and your bees, because there is a honey you can buy called Parisian rooftop honey, which I've heard of.
Yes.
Natch. So I'm assuming that's where that's.
Well,
what you're
I
talking about.
live on the 11th floor.
Okay.
I'm up on the 11th floor watching the cruisers below. And I have a balcony, and I was thinking I could get 7 or 8 hives out there.
What, you're going to get hives on your
Well, how are
balcony?
you supposed to be a beekeeper if you don't have hives? What do you think I'm going to keep them in? A doll's
Oh
house?
my God, you're going to wear one of those white suits?
You'd have to wear the
Like those
white...
astronaut suit things?
I still have the smoke-filled bellows.
Oh my God. Frank, I've just come round to see you. Oh, can you imagine?
Oh, come in. I'm just doing a bit of dusting. Help yourself. There's honey and lemon on the I made earlier. Help yourself with that.
So what does keeping bees involve?
Well, you have the hives and they're in there.
You say you have the hives. You need to be a bit more detailed than
No,
that.
then you pull out the trays at a regular basis. They've got the honey on, and then you sock them and put them back in. I used to do a very similar thing when I had a budgerigar, but I found it could be very acrid to the taste.
Oh, they'll all be buzzing outside your windows.
There'd be an element in the summer when you got to have all your windows up. The house would be full of bees. But I'm thinking then they wouldn't be. Now I think of the bees as enemies. Because I'm frightened of being stung. But then they'd be work colleagues.
Your brothers.
So I wouldn't be so. I'd become more accustomed to them. I think.
They'd become your little friends, wouldn't they?
I honestly, I think that they're genuinely encouraging
Hello,
people
Ian.
to do it. Yeah.
Hello, Michael. Hi, George.
There might be. I mean, yeah. I could get some very, very
Chris.
small overalls made for them. That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? With obviously a bit of a flap in the back for the sting. Obviously there'd be a high death rate because
What, you and your girlfriend?
no,
Getting stung to death?
no, but they die when they sting you, don't they, bees?
Yeah, no, that's good. I always like that retribution.
Some are very dramatic. It's you know that
Yeah.
bit on the news where they say he shot 8 people and then turned the gun on himself. Bees, that's just built in. It's
They're
great.
the suicide bombers of the natural
They
world.
are the suicide bomblers.
Yeah.
Buzzers.
I've never
Suicide
thought
buzzers.
of it like that.
No, well, that's what this show's all about. People think of things slightly differently.
Well,
Don't
I look
you
forward
agree?
to seeing your hives.
Thanks very much. Isn't that an illness? Some horrible sores that people get. But when I'm bringing in a jar of honey on a Saturday
Yeah,
morning,
well,
you'll be laughing on the other side of your faces.
It'll be
Oh,
like
terrible
Newman's salad
swollen
dressing.
faces.
There'll be a big picture of him on the honey.
Yeah, French.
When I'm carried
honey.
into work by bees in the morning, I've got them so carefully trained.
Trained? As if you can train
I could have
it.
sort of wire mesh elbow pads that they all get in there, shoulder to the mesh, and then up we go. Whoa! Here we go, lads. That'd be brilliant.
Oh, okay, can I tell you my favourite thing this week?
Yes.
I was reading about, there was an air traffic controller at JFK Airport, and apparently he got his kid in to direct the planes, which I thought was great. He was 7, but he got in trouble for it. Apparently, they thought it was bad or something, because his child was only
When
7.
you say directing the planes, he wasn't
Yeah.
he wasn't flying a plane. He's in like the.
No, he was just sort of, in the air traffic controller's box, and he allowed his kid to have a go. I think that's okay, don't you?
Well, yeah, how bad could it be? Well,
How bad
I've just thought of how bad it could be.
He let the little boy do it and then said, that's what you get when the kids come into work. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think
Long as
children.
nothing goes
I'm a big fan of that. I think children should have to grow up young. I had to, so everyone else should have to as well.
Yeah, I did actually. When I was 6. No, it's probably just 7.
Yeah.
I was mayor of Wolverhampton. And, it's funny you take things in your stride when you're that age. I'd find it more of a strain now. At the time, apart from some grazing on my knees from the swinging medals, I just, I met local dignitaries. I opened a couple of sports centres and stuff. Yeah. I think, I greeted Princess Alexandra when she came to Penn's Net.
oh, you're a posh little fellow, aren't
Yeah,
you?
exactly. She
You
was
being
lovely.
the-
Well, we killed 2 birds with one stone. I presented her with a
Goodness, no
bouquet.
centre.
We didn't need the extra child with the bouquet. I covered all the duties. Yeah, it was fine.
When I was 7,
I got you some flowers.
that was a good impression.
Yeah, and you didn't even know me when I was 7.
Exactly. He might not have talked like that.
She said, "How old are you?" And I said, 7. I was way ahead of my time.
When I was 7, I used to, at my parents' dinner parties, I used to pour the wine. I knew all the sort of, the differences and stuff.
You poured the wine.
Yeah, why not? That's what one does. And I would have to sometimes socialise. We'd always go to the dinner parties as well.
What is
I was
this
always
be-
quite tired at school.
What time
and
did you
things
go
the
to
next
bed?
day. Well, whenever the dinner party ended. I don't
Oh,
know. It
fair
depends who was there. And I'd sometimes, I had to make a speech at a wedding when I was about 8.
Did you?
Yeah.
What about?
Well, it was these friends of ours and they were getting married and they'd asked me to make one of the speeches. But then, unfortunately, I was out at dinner the night before and I got food poisoning. So I couldn't do it, which was terrible.
Yeah.
But, that was my life. That's not weird. You're all looking at me like I'm aliens and like you didn't do this kind of stuff.
Well, I never went to. I opened a couple of ring roads, obviously in my mayoral capacity. But no, I don't think I went to bed very early. I don't think my parents really did anything about. I think I stayed up till 11, 12 o'clock at night when I was about 7.
You see, Gareth, you strike me as very upstairs to Bedfordshire.
Yeah, well, I started telling you the story of when I ran away from home with my brother.
Oh, that went
Oh.
on for hours, though. I'm not being rude, but honestly.
I am being rude. Don't do that.
Well,
Don't ever tell
we
that
lived
again.
on the street for 8 years, me and my brother, and we saw some things.
Yeah? I couldn't believe that. What did you say? Pavement?
Mostly dead tramps.
Okay.
Just poke 'em.
Yeah. I don't do that. It depends how long they've been dead, really. I find it can be opening a can of worms.
Are you going to have a bedtime for Ethan then? I think you should just have a more laissez-faire approach like I had. Hasn't done me any harm, let's face it.
What's happened? There's a tape.
Hello? Hello?
Are you getting through to... Sometimes it's hard to get through to... I find that sometimes talking to Gareth, as much as I love him, talking to him face to face is like talking to my other friends on the phone. There are moments where it all goes wrong and I have to say, I don't know what happened then. Are you in the right reception area?
Why do people always say that? Whenever the phone, my mother always says that. You know, when you get disconnected, and that happens often. Mobile phones used to go, "Oh, what happened there?"
I know. I always say, well, how do I know? In order to know that, I'd have to be in some sort of mobile phone nerve centre with large screens showing
Exactly.
reception areas. And
So, Gareth, what happened there?
So we might have a bedtime for Ethan. Yes, I think you should have boundaries. Children crave boundaries.
do they?
Yes,
They certainly did in Wolverhampton. They did, because otherwise we wouldn't have known where Sandwell started. And I'm not doing things that's the responsibility of other district councils. Come on, I was only 7. You know. God, I remember when I left my teddy at that council house meeting. Imagine my consternation.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.